Hi, and welcome to another video. So today's video is really around, as an older endurance marathon runner or half marathon runner, and you're probably, I don't know, 50s and maybe moving towards your 60s like I am. As of making this video, I'm 60 next week. And what does it actually mean to stay or become a more evergreen endurance runner? You know, that's one of the terms I have in my company, Evergreen Endurance Runner. What does that actually mean? Well, let me share with you what it means to me. And I want to really share with you 4 key things that I think that you really got to avoid if you are to stay evergreen. Now, these aren't going to be your average, get plenty of sleep, you probably know that. Improve your nutrition, you probably know that. These are the ones that don't come up as much, but I feel at 60, being relatively healthy, that's nearly 60, relatively successful as a runner and as a running coach, particularly specializing in helping older endurance runners. These are the don'ts, if you like, and then we can switch them round to the positives. So in no particular order of importance, number 1, don't become sedentary. Now, you might think, that's weirdly, I do really long distances and you're saying don't become sedentary. But a lot of older endurance runners are by nature sedentary. And what I mean by that is if you strip out their marathon or half marathon training or their racing, they're predominantly sat on their bums. I'm very fortunate. I do a job where I stand up and I aim, even at nearly 60, that if I'm awake for 16 hours a day, that I'm not on my bum longer than 4 hours a day, maximum. And most of that last bit is in the evening, where I'm perhaps eating and chilling out. Now, I might be hearing you say, look Lee, I do a job where I'm in an office. Well, then remember how your body works. So, you know, your system is like armor. So like I've sat in this chair 5 minutes ago. Your body is going to kind of support you for about 30 minutes, maybe an hour. After that, it kind of stands down and everything just lets go. So if you are in an office, make sure that you stand up or move every 30, maybe at a maximum 40 minutes. Most offices have that flexibility. Don't get stuck just sitting there. Try and move more. Walking's great. You know, avoid escalators. My wife loves an escalator. If I can walk instead of go up lifts, I'll walk. If I can walk upstairs instead of go up escalators, I will walk. If I can take a walk, I will park my car further away and take the walk. These things all add up. And the benefit to you is beyond just endurance running. But from an endurance running perspective, all this movement means that suddenly when you start training, that your body doesn't go, oh my God, what's he doing? And then older runners are like, oh, I'm always injured. Now, there is a bigger risk as you get older. Is that risk partly because as we get older, we move less? Now, you know, you may move more than the average individual, which I'll come to in a moment, but how much, when you strip out your training, ask yourself, how much do you move excluding that? So strip out your sleep, strip out your training, how much in an average day are you moving? And how could you increase that movement? And that would help you stay more evergreen and more healthy generally. Number 2, don't get fat. People don't like to talk about it, but the fatter you get, you've got forces in running of 3 to 5 times. So my maths isn't brilliant, so let's just keep it to 100 kilos. For every 100 kilos you weigh, every time you run, that's 300 to 500 kilos force that you've got. So let's not put it any other polite way. The fatter you get, the harder running gets, the more weight you're carrying around. So if you lost that weight and then I said you're going to now put a backpack on, you know, with the same weight, how would that feel? Heavy. So I know it's not very PC, but if you're putting on weight, and normally that's partly connected to sedentary lifestyle, partly connected to alcohol, which I'm not going to cover in this video, but alcohol is a favorite of runners. I'm not going to preach to you. I'm just going to say, for me, because I'm an extremist, I had to either keep drinking lots, which I didn't want to, or stop, which I did 10 years ago. Without even trying, and I didn't need to because I was slightly built anyway, I lost half a stone. People kept saying, you don't look well, Lee. And I'm thinking, I've just stopped drinking. But the reason I lost half a stone is because I'd stopped drinking. So, you know, yet again, not popular, not trendy. That word trendy, showing my age. But yeah, so if you're getting overweight, you know, look at your diet. I'm not a dietitian, but the more real foods you eat, the more movement you have, which comes back to my first point. But if you're putting weight on and increasing your running, you're more likely to increase your risk of injury, and you're going to have to work harder. So yet again, you know, if you're overweight and you can lose some of that weight, that will keep you evergreen, not just as a runner, but also as a person. Thirdly, don't believe in comfort. As we get older, we all think we've earned the right for the comfy chair that tips you out without any effort. Look for discomfort. Your brain will resist it. It resists it at all stages of our lives because our brain is looking for the easiest way to do things, which from an evolutionary point of view has worked for a millennia because life was hard. Now life generally, for most people, if you're watching this video, it's never been easier in some areas at least. So looking for comfort all the time is not going to make you harder to stop. So look for little discomforts. Look to get up earlier than perhaps you want, for, you know, going out and walking when you don't fancy it. Look for ways to get out the chair, perhaps, you know, see if you can get out the chair without using your arms, or little games to set up little discomfort. I have like micro gym session, micro weight sessions. So what I mean by that is if I'm waiting for the kettle to boil, sometimes I'll do a few body squats or I'll do a few press ups. In my salon, I have weights. So sometimes if I'm in my staff room, I can lift a heavy weight for a couple of minutes. You know, I don't particularly like long strength sessions, but if you look at our ancestors, they weren't going to the gym. They were strong based on what they were doing. So, you know, mimic that in some ways. Look for ways that, you know, like if you're boiling the kettle, could you do if you safely could, a couple of press ups or a few squats, or, you know, stand on one foot while the kettle boils and change feet. Any little things that take you out, it's an overused term, but take you out of a comfort zone. What I mean is your body only does enough of what it has to do. So little regular shocks to the system, you know, be it 30-second cold bit at the end of a shower, or if I'm getting out of this chair, instead of doing that, I get up without using my arms, or if I'm standing here every now and again getting up from the chair, or having a weight to lift, or doing a few press-ups. Don't get comfortable all the time. Earn that comfort. At the end of the day, if you've moved more, you've trained, and you're sitting there and you think, cool, I've done my bit today, then you can enjoy that relaxation the same as our ancestors would have done, because rest is part of it. But generally, as we get older, we like a lot of rest, or people can. So that will make you more likely to be evergreen. And fourth is, don't believe everything and everyone around you. As you get older, you will get told to slow down. You will get told it's time to wind down. You know, I hate the term retirement. It's not that mean that I expect to do the same job, but retire from what exactly? You know, people are kind of almost putting you through a funnel, and every stage of your life they're telling you what is expected of you. And now as you get to your 50s and 60s, people are going to be telling you to back off, just take it easy, just sit in the corner. And you know, every time, you know, something goes wrong with your training, perhaps you get injured for a little while, you should be taking it more easy. Maybe that's true. Maybe there may be things that you need to change in your training or your approach, or things that I've outlined in this video. Aging is a reality. It does have an impact. Quite often, your age isn't the main problem. It's how you're approaching that age. You're not adapting to certain changes. You're not dealing with those changes. Maybe you're not doing some of the things that I've shared in this video. But society will continue to convince you that you should just take a backseat on life and let life drive you into the happy beyond. And is that what you want? Because that's not what I want. So don't buy into the society's narrative, and don't even always buy into what some well-meaning people around you mean. Make yourself hard to kill. Make yourself hard to be ill. We all need a little bit of luck. That's a fact. I know people through no fault of their own that have got some terrible situations at the moment, friends of mine, and I'm sure you know. Once you take out the luck that you can't control, what about the luck you can control? What about the things that the 1%ers that you can every day, some of the things I've outlined in this video, can make a key difference to your life and make you not only a better evergreen endurance runner, but generally a better human being for whatever time you've got left on this planet. Somebody that has got more time for their kids. One of the great joys of my life as I enter into my 60s is my son has started taking up endurance running, and we're planning to do a marathon in October together. Now, I don't know if we're going to run it together, but we're going to do the event together. It's one of the great joys of my life that he's taken up this, but I can do it with him. I'm going to be 60 and I'm going to give him a damn good run for his money. And that doesn't just happen. And I want to still be, with a bit of luck, still doing that when I'm 70. Yeah, I will need some luck. We all need a bit of luck. But apart from that, don't become too sedentary. Don't get fat. Don't believe in comfort or you earn your comfort. Don't just think it's a given right. And don't believe in everything around you giving you the narrative of your age. You define who you are. Anyway, hopefully this has helped. If you want more of this, then we do a 10-day Marathon Maximiser, completely free coaching course, workshop, and we look at really how you're training your intensities, how the type of intensities you're training in, so that you can get the maximum return for, in reality, some of the minimum of effort, so you become a more efficient trainer. Or if you're ready to be coached, I have my 8-week foundations program, which basically does do that, lays down the foundations of your marathon and half marathon running. You may have been running for years, but I can guarantee you that some of the foundations that I laid down in that 8 weeks, you haven't been doing. And when you do them, that means that you can build then the specific training on top of that, and then your race specific training on top of that. And that means that you've got a much better chance of turning up on race day really ready to peak and perform your best half marathon or marathon. Anyway, hopefully I'm very passionate about this because it's really something that hits me right here. It's something that keeps me up every day to be the best version of myself. And I want to see runners who are older to be able to show up and be the best versions of themselves. So anyway, have a great day. You got any comments on this video, put them below. I'd love to hear them and see them. Bye for now.